Good afternoon, everyone. It's September the 25th, 2024, and I'm just going to give you a brief update today as well and catch up on some things I've been hearing. Since people are starting to get back and working and collaborating with one another. And I just wanted to say that the city announced they had the groundbreaking ceremony for affordable housing. It was shown on the news last night, and it showed where they had actually broken the ground, so they had dug out for the whole foundation for the building, and they were putting up the boards on the side, so they were getting ready to work on the foundation. So that was some good news, and it's called Gladstone Village, and it's going to be very interesting because they're doing the first phase of this right now. It was government land that the social housing bought from the government, and this was announced, I think, just at the beginning of the pandemic or just before the pandemic, something like that. And so everybody's been waiting to see what's going to happen. Well, it started on the first phase. It's going to take, since they're building now, it'll be they said it's probably going to be finished in 2026, which is what I've been talking about, that it's not going to be overnight, and sometimes it's going to take several years to build it. So the first phase is, and they're going to have from studio apartments, first 1, 2, 3, and some 4-bedroom apartments in it. But when they're completely finished with all the phases, they're going to have 1,100 units for affordable housing. But this again might not be looking till around 2031 like everybody's been talking about, but it's going in phases. But the grounds, they're working on the grounds. This has started. This is some good news. It's starting. I don't know how things are going to work out this winter, but hopefully by next winter at some point, or by the following spring, we'll have units available for people again. I know myself, I'm interested in seeing how, getting a report from the city, how the buildings and things the old buildings that they're retrofitting, I'm interested in seeing how they're doing on that right now. I'm also seeing other things coming in as well. I can't remember the small town, but what they've done is a nonprofit organization. Everyone's kind of mad at them because they put the shelter, but it's not exactly a shelter. They're using an old warehouse in the industrial area, and they're showing where they're lining up the beds. They're hoping to get 150 to 200 people in there as well. And so this is something else that's, I sort of suspected that maybe we're going to have to use some warehouses. It's not because we want to exactly warehouse people, but we might have to use some empty warehouses, even if we can find them for the time being. I can understand that. Of course, people are mad in the small town because, well, how are they going to get into town? There's no bus service. How are they going to get themselves fed? And then, of course, this nonprofit organization is talking about, well, we're going to provide them bus service ourselves in and out of the town. So that's another thing that's going to be very interesting. But I also can see that if we can't get enough housing for people right now, we're going to just have to use whatever we've got for the time being until we can get things sorted out. So I just wanted to bring that up as well. And the other thing I'm seeing too, another thing from the police department, it just came out and announced that they're putting horses back on the Ottawa streets again. This will be hopefully in the spring of next year. And I know my grandfather, who was a blacksmith, he used to shoe horses for the police departments in the early 1900s when he was blacksmithing, and he used to tell me all about it. And so they took the horses off, and I remember, I think it was in the late 80s, maybe early 90s possibly. I remember when the police chief at that time here for Ottawa did reestablish horses back on the streets, and due to budget cuts, the horses were cut again. But it was a wonderful experience, actually, to have the horses on the streets. People were stopping and talking to the officers, patting the horses, wanting to have their pictures taken. Children were coming up, and it was a wonderful experience because a lot of children haven't been on a farm or anywhere near a farm like I was growing up, or a barn, anything like that. So this is really going to be a good experience, and especially when they put them in the Byward Market down here, it'll be a wonderful experience for the tourists to come in, because they love riding. We do have one stable left here in Ottawa where they do buggy rides and hay rides and stuff for us. So it's really nice, because if you want, you can take a hay ride as well, or a buggy ride around the Byward Market. So things are looking up. I know I was somewhat really frustrated and upset in the last video there too, that I'm so tired of all these trolls, as they're often put on the various platforms, and are on our technology for whatever we want to do, and people have to just come in and give their 2 cents worth, literally, and just, I can understand people. We're all frustrated, but stop taking it out on other people, and stop making other people unhappy. If you go back to my other one there on that's what's the name of it? I'm just trying to get the thing here. Acknowledging what is wrong, on my last video there. So you'll understand, because there's just so many scams and things that are happening today, that people are frustrated, people are upset, but we're coming back. And I'm seeing people talking together. I'm seeing people that are realizing in positions now are talking about supportive housing again, which is what I'm interested in, and what we need for supports in the supportive housing, what we have, what we don't have. How can, let's say, if the social housing, how can the community, such as I'm involved in the community association, we're talking about maybe we need to have some conversations back and forth, what's needed in the community, because the social housing is right in the community as well. They're all part of our community, and I live in social housing because that's all I can afford. So, but I'm seeing good, because people are starting to really realize we have to talk together and have these conversations. And then one way I've seen it, and conversations starting up, which was really nice, was like I was saying, I have Heidi, my service dog. She's in training as a therapy dog right now, and having that wonderful therapy session in the government building last week was really great. But we have scams going on with that too, with the service dogs and all the different dogs that we have for service, where someone can just go on Amazon, buy a vest, and slap on them a service dog patch that says that they're a service dog. Well, getting them to be a service dog or a therapy dog or anything else, you have to have their 3 obedience certificates, which I do. I'm also just going through the brain games with them, and that's just to keep your dog happy and teach them how to do tricks and stuff. Then I'm going through the therapy with her right now, as well. As she's not quite the full service dog yet. She's still a service dog in training, which I've been doing a lot of training, socializing, and that right from the beginning, which you need to do with dogs. So she's doing very well in her oh my goodness, and all her all a series of events, and what I'm doing, and the training. She's top notch, acing it when I take her in for her tests. So I'm really happy with that. She's getting her diplomas here one at a time, and by the time I'm finished, I'm going to have 6 diplomas up here on the wall for her. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh boy, by the time she gets 6 diplomas, she's going to be better educated than I am. But we're doing all kinds of things, and people are coming up. And, if you've got a dog and we're running into more and more people who think, oh yeah, I want to go here, I want to go there, because a service dog can go anywhere and I can take my dog anywhere with that on. If a dog is not going to be responding to around people and really good with people and trained properly with people, somebody's going to get bit. And then you see it sometimes because you also have to have a doctor's note for a service dog. And people do not always have their notes that they should have, which I have to carry on me, even though she's not fully a service dog yet, but she's going right after I finish the therapy training with her. She's going to be, I'm hooking up with a service dog trainer so that she can do things for me, like because of my mobility issues. She helps me get up and down the stairs. Let's say I drop my keys, for an example, on the floor. She can pick my keys up on the floor, hand them to me. I have trouble getting out of the chair or off the floor. She can help me do that. So there's more training for her, and it's constant training. And you have to review what you've trained with a dog if you want a really good dog. So there's a lot of work behind it. So and I can see where the therapy dogs are going to be very, very, very handy, because there's so many mentally ill people out there, and through and the old age homes, everything. Everybody's starting to ask for the therapy dogs today, because they're really helping make people come back, and it's good for their mental health. And they break. If you want to break into the conversation, that's the conversation piece right there. The dog. Everybody's around and chatting, and they're happy. And so it's very, very good with what's going on. So there's lots coming, and I have lots more coming, that's for sure. And other different videos coming up. And there's meetings going to be starting, I believe, next week. So hopefully I'll have an update on that as well. So I'm just going to leave it there, everyone. And I will keep updating you on things, what's going on with the dogs, what's going on overall, what I'm seeing. I'm seeing things that are good in the elections, things that are bad in the elections, and whoa, we're trying to get back to the old time way of my growing up on caring and sharing and looking after people. And I think that's what I'm seeing that's so good right now. Something's turning. I'm seeing it. And I had a few friends said, yeah, there's something in the atmosphere right now. Something's turning around. So I'm really excited about the future right now. So I'm going to leave it there, everyone. And hopefully I'll have another good update for you next week, if that meeting holds out like I think it's supposed to. So I shall talk to you again later, and everyone take care. Bye-bye.